Yo, YouTube, what's good? It's Gabriel, Just Fan TV, back at another video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on all the videos, more Ravens content to come. Today, we're going to talk about the fact that Odell Beckham Jr. appears to be in Baltimore to at least discuss a possible contract with the Baltimore Ravens. That's according to Josina Anderson on Twitter. She said, I'm told free agent wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. has arrived at the Baltimore Ravens facility with plans to at least talk to the Ravens, all right? So a couple typos in there, but that's the gist of the message, okay? And she says, per him, we know that Josina has a lot of contacts within the league, and obviously players tell her stuff directly, and she just puts it straight out there on Twitter. So that's what's happening with Odell Beckham Jr. So let's talk about this, man. Day after, we get everything that happened with Lamar Jackson requesting the trade or making it public that he requested the trade some 3 weeks ago. Now we get news of Odell Beckham being in Baltimore to possibly discuss a contract. This is interesting for various reasons. Number one, it seems as though him and the Jets were going pretty strong, right? Now, obviously, he's just talking to the Ravens, so there's nothing official about just talking to another team. He can do that. He is a free agent. But it seemed like him and the Jets were very close to getting a deal done. I wonder if this could be a ploy for him to get more money out of the Jets. Say, hey, look, I'm talking to somebody else. You better come get me before I sign over here. Or there could be legitimate interest here, all right? The second reason is the fact that Eric DeCosta, John Harbaugh spent the end of the season press conference repeatedly saying the words, we're going to revamp the wide receiver room. We're going to upgrade what we got here at wide receiver. Now, and then they went out and they signed Nelson Agholor. Okay. Nelson Agholor doesn't do that. Okay. But Odell Beckham Jr. has the potential to raise the ceiling of his wide receiver room. Even he's 30 years old right now. He'll be 31. He'll turn 31 at some point during the season. I believe in November is his birthday. But the last time we seen Odell Beckham Jr. on the field, okay, we're talking on the 2 Super Bowls ago now, all right? He was on his way to looking like he was going to be the Super Bowl MVP of that game, all right? He had a good playoff run. He had a good end of the season with the Los Angeles Rams when he started to get it clicking and kind of got in sync with that Sean McVay offense led by Matthew Stafford. That's the last time we've seen Odell as far as playing in a real football game, and he looked good. He did look good out there. And we know that the Ravens need receivers, all right? Also, Odell Beckham fits the criteria of what usually the Ravens look for in free agent wide receivers. It's a criteria that has been tried and true for a long, long time in Baltimore, all right? We're talking about plus 30 years old. We're talking about third contract, potentially, third contract plus, all right? And we're also talking about a guy whose value might be a little understated due to whether it's age, production going down, injury, whatever. We know the Ravens, when it comes to wide receivers, they like to try to get guys where they can try to find value in the market. That's just how they operate a receiver. At other positions, maybe such as a cornerback, they'll try to go top of the line, try to get the best guy out there. But at wide receiver, we know they want to try to find the value. All right. We've seen it with Anquan Bolden. We've seen it with Derek Mason, Mike Wallace, guys on and on, John Brown, all right? Odell Beckham fits this kind of mold. And I know it's kind of crazy to think about Odell Beckham in that kind of way, but at this point in his career, that's kind of where he's at, all right? Especially coming off an ACL, and we haven't seen him play the entirety of last season because of that injury, all right? Now, Odell Beckham also had its interest because of the money request Odell Beckham that he's made, okay? Now, he said that $4 million ain't enough, but he's never requested $20 million. So we're looking somewhere between $5 and $19 million. Now, obviously, more realistically, it's probably somewhere between 5 and 10, I would say, 5 and 12. If we looked at the wide receiver deals that's happening this offseason, now I'm not saying Odell Beckham is the same level as these guys. These guys he's probably better than these guys if healthy. But Jacoby Myers, Alan Lazard, Juju Smith-Schuster, all these guys pretty much signed for $11 million a year. Right? 3-year deals, okay? Odell Beckham might not be looking for a 3-year deal, but $11 million seems to be the range if you're at the top of the wide receiver category as far as the free agents go. And that's where those guys were. It wasn't a great stacked loaded free agency class, but that's what those guys got paid. So if the Ravens could find a way to give Odell Beckham something around, that range, it'd be a great addition for the Ravens. They need firepower at receiver, all right? Now, as far as Odell Beckham goes, I mentioned earlier, this could very well be a negotiation tactic. Hey, Jets, look, I'm talking to other teams. Show me that you're really interested. Come and get me before I sign somewhere else. because he has to have questions about the Ravens. He just does. All right. There's obviously the connection here with Todd Monken. Todd Monken spoke highly of Odell Beckham in his introductory press conference, saying that he loves Odell, that all-star receivers want the football. Odell wasn't wrong for asking for the ball more, just kind of speaking really glowingly about him and had no problem with the quote-unquote attitude issues that Odell Beckham has, which I don't really believe to be that big of a deal. So that's obviously a way in. But the Ravens currently have a quarterback who is disgruntled over payment. So if you're any potential wide receiver that has options, right, you're going to wonder about coming to the Ravens, right? Nelson Agholor to me is different because I feel like the Ravens are one of his few options. They wasn't really, I can't imagine teams were beating down the door to sign Nelson Agholor, right? But Odell Beckham, he has suitors, right? Before they got Brandon Cooks, the Cowboys were out there, the Jets, Ravens. There's been other teams after Odell Beckham. So he has potential options to go other places. And this is the truth, all right? So the Ravens have to make him feel assured about the quarterback situation in some way, or they got to pay him the compensation that he wants. Either way, he has to leave this meeting feeling as though this is a realistic opportunity for me to sign here. Now, I don't want to get too high about it because it's just a visit. It's just to talk to the team. It's not to sign with the Ravens, all right? The Ravens brought in Rock Ya-Sin for a visit. Nothing happened there. And the Ravens brought in Nelson Agholor for a visit. Obviously, he signed with the team a couple days later. So the visits have gone one of two ways. They've gone without a deal. They signed a contract, so it's about 50%. Odell Beckham was the third guy that I can remember officially visiting the Baltimore Ravens during this free agent process. You guys let me know if you heard of anybody else that was on a visit with the Ravens. Let me know. So it's just that, right? But I will say this. The Ravens need to make a move to help the wide receiver room. That's the obvious and clear as day statement. And bringing in Odell Beckham would do that. It honestly would, right? Even at 30 years old, I think he still has a lot of in the tank. I think he wants to prove to people that he's not finished. And that's another thing the Ravens like about a guy in the older receiver, somebody who has something to prove. Let's remember Steve Smith Sr., all right? On his revenge tour after getting cut by the Carolina Panthers. He wanted to prove that you guys made the wrong decision. I can still play. And I can feel that Odell Beckham is on that same kind of path, all right? So it's interesting they brought him in. Hopefully a deal can happen. I think that he's probably one of the few free agent wide receivers left that can have an impact on the roster. I think there's guys like Robbie Anderson out there, things like that. But as far as free agent guys, he's at the kind of the top of the list that's left. Now, there's obviously some more cap casualties to come after June 1st. Teams will make some more cuts. But right now, Odell Beckham is kind of the guy at the top of the list when you say free agent wide receivers. So the Ravens still need to, even if sign Odell Beckham, I would still draft a receiver. If you could go into the season with Rashad Bateman, Odell Beckham, round one rookie wide receiver, whoever that may be, and Nelson Agholor and Devin Duvernay, that's a wide receiver core. I can get along with that. I can get on board with that wide receiver core. And maybe, just maybe, I don't know, this is speculation, but Lamar Jackson sees that wide receiver core and say, hey, look, I'm willing to play with that kind of team. Because we got to think about it, man. A part of this Lamar Jackson saga also could be the fact that, he doesn't feel like he's been surrounded by the right kind of help. So why would I take a pay cut, not a pay cut, but why would I take something that I feel is less than my value to be surrounded by not so great talent? But now you get me that really, really good talent, that elite kind of talent, or very, very good talent, maybe not elite. And then maybe we could talk some more about lowering the contract demands. Maybe not. We'll see. So that's my thoughts on the Ravens bringing in Odell Beckham. I think it's a good move for the Ravens. If they were able to land a deal with him, it would automatically boost the wide receiver room. On the other side, it could just be Odell Beckham using this as a negotiation tactic to try to get the New York Jets to say, hey, look, come offer me a contract. I'm in Baltimore. I'm talking to other teams. I'm serious about this free agency process. If y'all don't sign me or give me the money that I want, I will go somewhere else. We'll see how it shakes out. But let me know your thoughts on the Ravens bringing in Odell Beckham, and let me know if you think it'll happen. We'll see. But I'm going to get out of here. It's Gabriel, Another Fan TV. I'm out.